Is your mic good?
Mine's good.
Are we live?
We're live.
Ooh, their process. Sounds cool, man.
Episode 2 already. Second week.
Oi, what's actually freaking me out, this is actually so true right now, is how quick time's going. I'm being actually legitimate. I'll tell you why. This year, look, it just felt like we hit 2022. I swear it felt like maybe a week ago I was doing New Year's. Crazy New Year's, by the way. That's for another podcast, by the way.
Keep this PG.
PG, this one. This is the process, PG. Anyway, it just feels like yesterday, dude. And we're in...
It's nearly the end of January already.
It's the 26th.
It's Australia Day.
Hey,
Happy
Aussie,
Australia
Aussie.
Day, everyone.
Hey, as an announcement, actually, I'm starting up a new company. It's called Aussie Footwear. And I'm telling you now, this is going to help all our DVA patients.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be the footwear line of what we do. I'm not going to operate it. It's going to be very strategical. We're here to help the veterans. That's what we've done this year. Foot and ankle clinic. George has been an integral part of it. Anyway, we're episode 2. It's gone really quick.
Hey, I think if we can expedite the process with all the systems that we do with DVA, work cover, I think this is going to be good with a new company doing this.
Do you know what's crazy? In the background of your mind, you're always thinking about it. Dude.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
insane.
Anything that we can do to accelerate the process of what we're doing for our clients, our patients, anything.
Yeah.
But you're the one, obviously, that brings it into fruition.
Yeah. I think, look, I've been very blessed, and this is why even the last episode, I went so deep with you. If you guys haven't seen it, go back there and watch that episode before you watch this one. It'll make sense what I'm about to say. But having you involved, I was just like, is that really possible? To the point, you actually made this possible. I think I'm lucky that the people that I've met in my journey, I'm more like the creator. I'm very creative. That's my strength. And a lot of there's a lot of people out there like you, Robin, Angus, all our admin team, Sam, like all these back end people. Man, the operation's so good. Everyone's so great at individual areas, and that's what brings it to life. In all honesty.
Yeah, we have a great team, and I think everybody knows their role. But you've been an inaugural part in allowing people to thrive in their role as well.
That's interesting.
And when I think about it, it's like putting the right person in the right seat of the bus.
Yes. Oh my God. This is what it is.
Yeah.
You're right. And this is why, look, I have to be honest here. I have to be honest. People come in and give me their 2 cents everywhere. This is what I experience. And you guys do you experience the same thing?
Yeah, of course.
People come in and give their 2 cents worth in your life?
Yeah, of course. Definitely. But I always listen.
Yeah.
I always take it on board and then try and formulate the best outcome possible of my thoughts, their thoughts.
This is so interesting.
But I like asking people for their opinion.
Yeah.
I want to know sometimes putting it back, the responsibility in their hands to say, hey, so we're faced with this problem.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. And this is what I was going to say. It's that I didn't even know about you. That's what makes you actually you. And that's why we move together at the rate of knots at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's natural. It's really natural. And the big focus for me, and this just shows you, and it should show you actually, I'll be honest with you, it actually should show you that, dude, if you just let it be natural, it's so much more fun. And it just happens. Life just happens in a good way. But when we get into our mind and start to cook things, and that's what I call it cooking it. You're just frying it.
Yeah.
Right?
I know what you're talking about.
That just changes people.
I took personally what I thought was a loss last Friday.
Okay.
And we had this conversation.
We did.
I had a little bit of, personally, is what I thought was a loss.
Yeah.
Put a lot of effort, time, planning, thought into something that I was going to produce for people. It just did not come out what I expected.
Yeah.
But we had this conversation about getting in your mind.
Yes,
and you
we did.
said to me, you're in your mind.
Yeah.
Let's peel it back. And so how did you help me through that? Because it was a great conversation and it gave me a lot of perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
So I took a loss and you helped me on Friday.
Yeah.
So.
I want to be grateful that, number one, I can have that conversation with you, right? I think it's important. And I think that just shows the depth of your character right? And my character, we just meet at a different level when we have those conversations, which is cool. Right? It's not so superficial anymore. It's really, really deep. What was your question? Sorry.
How did you? So I took that loss, and I confided in you and said, "Hey, Sanj, where should I go from here?"
Yep.
And you told me I was looking at it very analytically, emotionally.
Yep. Okay.
So it was taking a step back and looking at it logically, and then
Yep.
attacking what I needed to do from there.
Oh, you said
to
how?
rectify the problem and then move forward.
Look, for me, I've got this weird. I don't know if it's a gift or if it's an understanding. I can't put it into words. It's a feeling, and it's like I can exchange anything with someone, whether it's over the phone and voice or touch or presence. It's like I can feel them. It's weird. It's very weird. So that level of recognition then allows me to go, hey, like I can tell you're altered right now and something's not working right up here or in your body. And then what's coming out, right, is not the natural, it's not the real you. And that's why it comes back to natural. It's like this podcast is meant to be as well. But like I said earlier, being natural and not letting this get in the way. And look, I've got very, very simple techniques on a daily basis to remind me and not let this overtake me.
That was the biggest thing. I think it was letting me get in my own head and completely overanalyze the situation. As opposed to looking at it logically, like X, Y, and Z, what can we rectify?
I want to ask you a question.
That was very impressive, the way that you did that.
Yeah.
Being able to, you could tell through my text messages, my voice messages that I was sending, you identified it straight away. George is altered.
Yeah, and I didn't think I even responded via text. I just called you straight away.
Yeah,
I think you hit me with like 5 texts in a row.
I machine gunned you with texts, and that was when you called me. And so I think that was your way with words to be able to look at a situation objectively and not subjectively. And that's what we're going to talk about today is failures. And achievements.
Okay, love it.
So as I saw last week as a failure, but learning to move forward from that.
Okay, yeah. Look, I want to ask you a question before I answer this component of failure. And my question was to you, do you think your mind reacted like that because of pressure?
Yeah, of course.
And remember what we were talking about last week? We spoke about pressure, right? We spoke about, hey, everyone can handle a different level of pressure. And you look at these big sporting moments, you look at people, on a large scale, even prime ministers, people buckle under pressure. They change under pressure and you're like, that's not them. And if you met them in real life, they're so strong. Their character, for them to even aim for that, right, their presence is so full in real life that even pressure cooks them.
Yeah.
They lose that connection with themselves. So it's interesting that, you reacted like that. What I want to say is this, right? Is to failures first. We'll talk about failures first.
Yeah.
Dude, look, you're not going to fail if you didn't try something new. Let's just get to that first. Think about this. If you don't challenge yourself, you can't fail. You're not going to fail. And so if you do have a failure, just know one thing. And this is really important to know. That you've actually tried to progress and your mind is actually in the right spot, not the wrong spot. Life jams people because people think they've failed and they just stop that little positive change that they had, that little positive thought, that moment of action, that implementation that they finally did. Maybe after such a long time, this might be you, 6 months, you would have convinced yourself, let's do something else, and you hit a little failure, you stop. Come on.
That's the only time that you do fail is when you quit.
Right.
We were talking about that this morning. The only time you truly fail is when you actually quit and you give up on it.
Right. You need to recognize you're in the right mindset. To be on that journey and have failed, your mind is in the right spot right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because no growth, no change, nothing exciting happens in the comfort zone.
100%.
We have to be outside of that comfort zone
100%.
and be searching for that discomfort
to
find growth. Oh. Is that how you see growth? You have to be. You don't really. You don't know until you start getting really uncomfortable with the things you're trying. To find new avenues, new opportunities. Is that how you look at it?
Yeah, and it all starts from the mind, right? And if you're in control of that, and this is some of the techniques on how I deal with failure, right? And I'm really summing up your question now.
Yeah.
But some of the techniques is I'll meditate, or I'll have a deeper level of understanding. I'll go to far places, a couple of times a week. That's what I'd really try and do through meditation, through grounding actions, to earthly actions. I will do this to go to that place, separate my mind, right, and really have a deeper understanding of why we're here. And when I know that I've failed at something, I know I'm in the right spot. I know that I am being positive to try that. And I know long-term where positivity will go, both physically, on how it will impact our bodies, on how we regulate when we're older, on youth, on mindfulness, but also for the inside, for who you really are on the inside. Positivity will take you a long way, allow you to be creative, and it will allow you to achieve all the dreams that you want to achieve, which is phenomenal. That's how I deal with failures.
Yeah. And look, this isn't something you do once or twice and then you're going to have that positive mind. This is a daily implementation of things like meditation.
Yeah. A very, very strict routine where it goes from everything. So it's physical care, right? Where I'll try and look after my face. I've had a bad history of acne, and that was a massive failure. I was in high school, and I really looked after myself and really wanted to focus on myself. But I've suffered from a lot. So, it goes from physical care, to nutrient care, whether it's my water or carnitine in the morning, my mindful supplements that keep me focused all day before I train, the coffee, the MCT oils, whatever it is, right? All those things add up because I know that I'm driving from the inside to complete all those things to impact me on the outside. So that's how in control I feel, and that's how I can then deal with failure.
And you've made those a huge part of your lifestyle. Massive. Every single day.
Oh, I miss it.
Do you use those as tools to allow you to be disciplined to this routine?
Yeah, or it's a reminder, and it's also an important practice of I know that I'm heading in the right direction. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, this happens at night as well. I do a night routine.
Okay.
Right, like, dude, it's full on.
So the text messages I get at 4:30 in the morning,
that's after.
You're pumping through. Yeah.
That's after the night and the morning.
Yeah.
That's when I feel insane at 4:30 in the morning. Today's a public holiday in Australia, as we said. Happy Aussie Day. I still woke up at 4:40 this morning. I still trained, and we're here doing this and being surrounded by amazing people, and then gonna have a staff meeting, a whole company staff meeting. We haven't had in so long, and we've got so much new staff coming, and so much news to give out. It's insane, dude. I feel really lucky.
Yeah.
But it's created. So how do you deal with it? Just quickly.
With failure?
Yeah.
All right, we'll look at failure first. I try and look at achievement and failure one in the same. So I look at them both as lessons.
Yep.
So for achievement, you don't want to become seduced by success. So you don't want to. We were talking about this the other day as well, becoming complacent when you meet achievements.
Yep.
And that's obviously where you become dead in the water. So thinking that you've reached a certain standard and then backing off the gas.
Yep.
So not putting your foot down and not looking ahead, not actually resting on your laurels when you achieve something. But inversely, I look at failure the same. So I had that failure last week. It keeps in my head, but I've learned it as a lesson. Yeah. And I identified exactly where I knew I could improve.
Yeah.
And I actually broke it down and sort of looked at it more logically, less emotionally, and then how I could fix it.
Okay.
And then from there, implement those strategies to fix it straight away.
Yeah.
Is that what you do as well? So if you use those opportunities to actually start amending the failure, instead of just dwelling on it and letting it stew in your mind and over-analyzing.
I want to ask you a question. Would you just say just a slight direction change when you hit a little roadblock? Would you just slightly direction change and go, okay, learn from that. I'm still moving forward. Great. I'm still making progress to be here, but just slight adjustment to whatever you're doing. Could be something small or a mindset-wise, but it is... It's off.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 with the camera turning off.
Yeah. It might be dead. What were we talking about?
We can cut this out.
Or will we?
No, let's just leave it in. We're being raw. We're being real. We're talking about failure and learning from it, pivoting from the failure.
Yeah. So like make a slight adjustment change, right?
Yeah.
Like would you actually, is that what you would do? Is that how you see it now? Like, because in this instance, whatever you've changed or adapted, it's just a slight, honestly, is it just a slight change?
Of course, because you don't want to make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
So I think changing your route or your route, American, changing your route of action.
Route.
You have to pivot. You have to change. You have to
Yeah.
slightly deviate and try something else. Because obviously, you haven't learned from a failure if you keep making that same mistake.
Yeah.
So I think you have to identify that you've gone down one path. It wasn't the right path.
Do you think people are scared to identify? Or scared to be real? Like that's why they ignore it, or they just don't want it because it's too hard? Or
Well, I think when people fail, they let it get to them, and then it stops them from trying again.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you find that with a lot of people when they hit that roadblock, they fail something, and then they never try it again, or they never throw themselves back in the water and in the deep end and actually try.
You're right. There's no resilience.
Yeah. Yes.
There's no resilience.
There's no grit. There's no fortitude to go along with that. They sort of just stop.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
They haven't got that endless supply, right? Of endless supply of just movement. Everything impacts them to a high ability. And look, I think, we're discussing this, and maybe we can learn from it and uncover even little components that we still do that, because there would be, man. We've all got
100%. Look at me last Friday. We're using that as an example through this.
Great. Even me.
I stewed on that for 24 hours.
Wow.
That's another thing I want to talk about.
Yes.
The 24-hour rule.
Yes.
24 hours, either achievement.
Because I've recognized something.
Yeah.
How you felt yesterday.
I think a lot of high achievers and very successful people utilize this strategy to keep them moving forward.
Yeah.
So they don't get hung up on either achievement or failure, is using a 24-hour rule. So let's just say you have an achievement, celebrate that for 24 hours, no longer than 24 hours, then back into the process.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about things that you achieved 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You're not moving forward if you're still talking about that award you won last year in high school.
Nice.
Same with failure. Exactly the same as failure.
Yeah.
24 hours to analyze it.
I know where you're
After the 24 hours,
yes,
let's get back on that track.
Yeah.
Find that different avenue and move forward.
Yeah, 100%. Look, and what you just said, because on the contrary to successes, people dwell on the success, right? And it alters their mind. Think about it exactly the same way. It's mind altering. And it might be because of pressure, or it might be because of ego. And this is why the two are so important, right? Their ego alters their mind. Their mind then splits out blab. It doesn't allow it to be natural or normal. And then that is what causes the change with all of it. And they're not in the same mindset anymore, right?
Yeah.
Exact same outcome. So failure and successes, or things that do well, it's exactly the same outcome every single time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And when you think of it, I feel it's appropriate to have a small amount of ego.
Yeah.
But you can't let the ego control you.
100%.
You have to be able to control your ego. And I spoke about ego last week, and I probably sounded a little bit more aggressive with the way that when you're told you can't do something and you want to use ego to get through. I think a small amount of ego is healthy because it sort of encourages winning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But you can't let your ego control you. And I think that's when people sort of go down the wrong path.
There's a balance.
There needs to be a balance.
Just needs to be a sense of recognition.
Yeah.
You're right. Because
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
But surely you have a small amount of ego going into business ventures because you need to know that you're confident in what you're about to achieve.
Interesting.
Confidence and ego. But
look, and I haven't even recognized that. So that's how underdeveloped I am in that area.
Sure.
That's me being honest.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little bit underdeveloped in that area. And I'm 27 at the moment. Hopefully, I can usually, when I look back historically, and I'm sure I can say the same if I keep the process the same. Every 6 months, I develop so much, I blow myself away. So you can imagine how each 12 months has looked historically, and I'm just speaking from history, in all honesty. for me personally or the people involved around me. And let me say this really clearly, dude, the people that are around me, they also progress. It's this shit is crazy. I cannot even tell you, right? I've seen it time and time again, and I'll just go through everyone's statistics. That's all I'll do, right? Even in my personal life, I'll go through their statistics and I'm like, but you've improved since we've met, or since we started liaising, or since we started doing X with each other. You have improved in this, and the list keeps going, and they're proper statistics, man. You know, where people make some serious progress in their personal lives. It's crazy. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
But now, to finalize your question, is I don't know what that recognition is. I've read a couple of books on ego, I'll be honest with you, and I don't know if I'm still being the real me knowing myself, or is that also a certain component of ego? Not sure.
Do you think yours is more a heightened level of confidence because of what you've achieved previously then?
Okay.
Because you've achieved, at 27 years old, you've achieved a lot.
Thank you.
To you, you probably don't think it's a lot because your goals and expectations, yes. And you probably think like every day is day one.
Yeah, so it feels like that.
You're obviously trying to step up.
Yeah.
But do you think instead of ego, yours is a heightened level of confidence, not in your skill and your ability to finish things?
I think it might be just the way my brain is, and I'm maybe a little bit more positive, you could say.
Yeah.
Which then, so even if I'm like, don't get me wrong, do you think I don't get nervous? I do. I like you, right?
I get nervous before we do these.
Yeah. I actually felt pretty good today, to be honest.
No, I felt good today. I was a bit nervous last week.
Yeah.
I think I rambled on. Sorry to all the listeners. Last week went for an hour because I jabbled, but we had fun.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it, and that's what this is about. Like, if we can help while we're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's chilled.
Yeah.
It's like, and actually that's what I love about this. No, actually do. I really like, it's actually so chilled out. It's crazy. Look, those two components, I'm glad we covered it in this podcast. I think both of them are so important, failures and successes. But I really think that the biggest part of this all is to go, hey, how do we connect with others? How do we create good culture around us? Right? And it's all literally the process of the mind. So it's been a good week. And I'm just, before we wrap this little segment up, I want to say this. That one failure, which you thought was a failure, I definitely didn't think it was a failure, but it was even your mind thinking it's a failure. You've learned so much.
Oh, for sure. And it's so interesting how we do get in our own heads. Because I saw that as a huge failure for me for that project that we were working on. So we were working on this project together, and my end, it just didn't produce the way I thought. But you looked at it completely differently, which was so interesting. So that's how your mind can completely control yourself.
Well, let me say this, right? I know for me and you, for anyone listening to this right now, if you do not let your mind get in the way, I'm telling you, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, right, are going to be the best moments of your life. Like, listen to this right now. Let it sink in, right? Honestly, let it just sink in for a sec. If you do not let your mind get in the way, let me say that again, your mind, right? Don't let it overtake you. The next 6 and the next 12 months will be the best time you've ever had, because you're just being you. Just let it go. Just relax. Just chill. And honestly, have fun. And I have to remind myself that every day, because the pressure can cook you, right? And I know, and it's almost what I wear. I know if I'm just being me, right? I know. Or if I'm being cooked by the pressure.
Yeah. Do you think...
Welcome to camera number 1, by the way.
Straight back up and running.
Hey, I'm glad you're back. Oof, now it feels good.
Do you think it's expectations? So mine was potentially, and I think a lot of people would have this as well, is that they have these expectations of themselves or what they think other people... What they think other people... Yeah.
Don't look too far ahead.
Yes.
Set your goals. Know what the process is for each one of those goals on a weekly basis.
Yep.
Do not look too far ahead. Don't have an expectation. Just get it done. Break it down.
And another thing that you noted last week don't let the opinions of others dictate how you feel. So not letting obviously environmental factors dictate your emotions and only allowing yourself to determine how you feel. That was a big thing because mine was, I was worried that the project we produced, well, that my component wasn't good enough for our clients. There was an expectation thing.
It was an expectation, bro.
Yeah.
You know, we do something completely different. We're different people, right? And the more authentic we can be to anyone around us, right? They know. Anyone watching this right now or anyone listening to this, you know how real I'm being right now. Hey, wake up, right? I'm being serious.
We're being pretty real.
No, I am, right? And people can sense that.
Yeah.
And when you're real, that's what people love, because you know why? We all want to be real. I'm telling you right now, do you want to be real or not? Right? Hey, everyone put your hands up in the air if you want to be real. Woo!
Yeah. You know what? It's pretty easy to be yourself.
Yeah.
It's harder to try and be someone else.
Yeah, 100%.
Being real is the easiest thing. You're not
stress-free.
You don't have to fake anything.
I feel so relaxed. Just saying that, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel really relaxed
Me
now.
too, man. All you have to do is just be you.
Wow. I love this.
It's not that hard.
No, it's cool.
People like authentic people.
It's like therapy coming on here. I'm going to be honest with you. I actually feel really good.
I always feel good.
No, thank you.
Around you. You got this energy, man.
No, you do.
Energy.
That's why I can recognize. I can feel it. You hear what I'm saying? Like back to the start of this podcast, I can feel that. You've got it.
Dancing around a tiger right before it.
Hey, check out our Instagram, our Facebook. Anything that is under our personal names and the actual process production as well on Instagram, because that's on our stories. Those real moments, and my exercise is to be more real. One of my goals for this year I put down is to be more authentic, or just be me. And that's pretty real for me to even write that, because I always think I'm being me. But this is why it feels good, and that's why I'm trying to post as much of that as I can. It makes me happy. And so that's on our Instagrams. Check out George's. He's going to take himself off private. I didn't talk about this, by the way. But anyone listening out there?
Oh, now I'm going to have to do it now.
Let's share the love. Let's share the love.
The second episode that we've spoken about this, it looks like it's going off private.
Come on. You're just going to you have to have that sharing mentality. You know, whatever anyone wants to take, let them take it, man. Like we've got nothing to lose. Be as public and as open as you can. I think that's really been a big part of my life, and the more closed off I am, the more negative I feel inside. It's very strange. So just exercise it, see how you go. Be more open. You've got nothing to lose. You can keep giving. You don't have to give money. You can give energy. You can just give yourself, and people appreciate that. So just try it. Let's try it this week. I think it'll be really good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into our questions, guys. And by the way, I've got some pretty cool people lined up for this podcast. I want to take it into a different direction right now, and I had a chat to George, and he actually wanted to. Or you like that direction?
Yeah,
cool.
No, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think going to have some extra minds and some people with different experiences.
Just quickly, and that's why I ask you, because I actually respect on like how you feel, because you've got that natural take on things, and that's what I'm saying. Like you inside's really good. That's why I ask you, and if you love it, I'm like, wow, this is definitely it then.
Man, I think it's going to be cool having an extra mind in here to be able, and to see the direction. So we haven't really spoken about who we're going to get on, but sorry to you guys, we have personally. We're excited about who we've got. Of course.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, you got to share.
You source these initials, and we're gonna continue to get different people on, whether it's in person or by correspondence. We've got some great minds that we want to pick and unpack and delve into different topics. So.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I love those conversations, and if we're sharing it, that makes me even happier. That's all I'm actually here for. So the first one that I want to get on, I'm going to go for one or two. I've made contact with them. So one's going to be like more from a cosmetic surgeon background, because remember these are really smart guys or really smart individuals doing something cosmetically or superficially to help other people, because that's all they care about, right? He's a really cool guy, so I want to get him on here. And then there's another one. We're going to talk to a meditation professional, an absolute meditation professional. And this guy goes on meditation camps for like 10 days straight, 15 or 30 days straight. And I met him by selling him my car. I really want to get him on. His mind is going to be absolutely insane. The level of understanding which he'll touch us with is going to blow your mind. All I need to do, and hope he doesn't listen to this podcast prior, is I just need him to be relaxed. So, but he's a cool guy. Like, it's not like he's sensitive. Don't get me wrong. Like, but I'd love him to be even more relaxed, so he can just be more real, because he may have not done something like this, and we just got to recognize that as a human being.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very excited to have a conversation with him, because obviously I intermittently undertook meditation daily and sort of had spells of where I was falling in and out. And since working with you, I've made it a conscious effort of doing this daily, 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, every single morning. 5 to 10 minutes of active visualization at night, every single night before bed. And I've made it a part of my routine every single day.
Man, that's awesome.
And because I know it's a huge part of your day as well.
Yeah, I record it. I sometimes put it on my stories when I'm feeling the sharing vibe as well.
Yeah.
And it makes me go even harder, to be honest.
Can I ask you a question? When you do it, do you listen to anything?
I used to, and then now I started. Look, this guy taught me a lot. So I'll just tell you one thing. He taught me a different technique or practice, and it's called Vipassana, where it's just focusing on the breath. So focusing on how your body is. And he said 2 key words, I'll say this, and then we'll move on. The first key word is accepting how your body's breathing or how it's feeling. Acceptance, and just and observing is the second word. And he goes, just observe. It's okay. You don't have to change it. Just observe. And when I first start off with that, and then I get into some mantras, man, that's really changed the game, because first I have a large idea of reflection, and, I can recollect what my body's actually, how it's responding. I accept it, and then I dive straight into it, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool, really cool.
Yeah. I still have to be guided. Okay. So I use things like binaural beats, guided meditations.
Can we put that on after this podcast? We'll record it. Can you put a binaural beat on after this podcast?
Yeah.
We're going to do it, and it's going to be on our story. But please,
for sure.
That would be awesome.
I feel like it allows me to not think.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
And to get it.
Think. Perfect.
Yeah, but
your mind slows down.
Exactly.
You let go of it.
Yeah.
Perfect, man.
And because I find it difficult to shut my brain off. I find it and I think with practice it gets easier.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people give up on meditation, is because they don't get it right, or they feel like they don't get it right the first time. But that's a part of meditation, isn't it? Is recognizing that your brain is running wild, recognizing, understanding. Yes. And then trying to bring it back in, pull it back in.
That's why I love your spin on it, because it's so true.
Yeah.
Look, I think you might put it into words better than me, especially for other people viewing or listening to this. It's going to be, honestly, one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to or ever experienced. And it's because it's real. I know that it's going to be good. But you're right, George. I truly agree with you. Your spin on things is absolutely phenomenal. And this is what will provide people with a different perspective, to allow them to understand and us develop together forever, because it's never ending.
Together forever.
Love that. Let's get into the questions, man.
Let's get into them.
Let's do this.
So we have 3.
We're going on time, which is good.
We have 3 questions.
Yes.
So each week...
You can ask me, and then can we reflect back to you, or do you want me to read them to you? And you go first.
What I'll do is 1 to 3, I'll read them all out.
Okay.
And then you'll do 1 and I'll do 1.
Great. Who does a third? We both do it.
Yep.
That is so cool.
That's what. Yeah, we'll do
Let's
that.
do it.
And I think the first one's going to be, I want this for you. And then the second one we're going to do together.
Okay, let's do it.
First one.
Yes.
If you had $0,
wow,
how would you start your business?
Yes. How would I get started? Okay, I've had this one actually has popped up multiple times, this question, just to let you know how popular it is. When I first did the pre-podcast questions, got a few of them similar. And then after last podcast, we got more and said, why didn't you answer this question? So this is why we're answering it. I haven't had a really good thought. We did chat about this question earlier. I'm going to be completely real with you guys. And I said, I'm just going to be real and just apply it to my life. So this is my version of it. And this is what I would do. I would start my businesses exactly the way I've started them every single time. I've started 4 businesses, and none of them have started with money, no capital. I'm telling you right now. And the way I do it is I focus on service-based businesses. Think about this for a second. There's no capital in. It's all a service-based business. We provide, or I provide, or I organize a service to be provided, which doesn't cost any capital. X person agrees to that service, and I don't need any money in, right? Because the cost should be, if the cost is more than what you're getting paid, guys, come on. The cost should be less than you get paid for the service. And then I multiply that service. So for example, and I'll be brief with this because I know we got to move it along, but I started a podiatry company that was just done on a contract basis. I put no equipment in. That was what I negotiated. So you got to use your brain to negotiate, please, to get to this point. I negotiated the vendor or the person that was helping me do this, or that I was paying a percentage to organize the equipment. I scale that model and then I multiply it exactly the same way in different sites, in different models with different levels of services or, different amounts. One was high end, one was low end models in podiatry. And then I've done that across multiple businesses. That's what I'll do. That's how I answer this question. Service-based business, get started with a single service, keep it simple. You can amplify and fine tune that process with that one X service that you initially start off with, and then multiply the hell out of it once it's good. Once it's fine, you can multiply. You will be completely fine. Just follow the process.
I want to add on to that.
Yeah.
Turning one customer into two.
Perfect.
Word of mouth.
Love it. And there's multiple ways. Word of mouth is one.
Yep.
I'll just quickly rattle off a couple, and then if you want to speak about word of mouth.
Yeah.
It would also be referral based.
Yep.
It would also be testimonial based because you can use it for remarketing. Right, and that's off that one person still.
Yep.
Let's just think about it. There's multiple different means of doing this. Right, it's also, like duplicating the process. So whatever you did to get that one person. Scaling. You just duplicate that process. Whether it was talking to a referrer or a GP or another business to give you that, or if it was approaching people directly, just scale the hell out of it. So there is multiple forms.
What's your thought on offering obviously the absolute best possible service so that these people are telling other people though?
Yeah.
So giving them the experience.
Yes.
So offering a service is one thing, but we have to remember that whatever we do, there's probably other people in the world doing it.
Yep.
So doing it to your absolute best, doing what other people are doing, but doing it better.
100%.
So being the person in that field.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, amazingly important. So, yeah, love that.
Because that differentiates you from all the sea of other people trying to do the same business as you, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You just got to be you. And that's what I'm saying. People can feel when you're being you. So when you provide them this service, just be you. Don't try and be someone else. They'll love that service. And that's why, you will get those multiple forms of duplication. And that's how you would start your business. What's my question to you?
How do you maintain your fitness/physique?
Okay, that's a great question, George, because I like that. Your background's very diverse. You've done a lot of different things as well as on top of podiatry. I'm going to ask you that question first. You've really been into the gym. You've progressed really well. I think your health is great. Tell us how. How do you fit it in? What's the story?
So it starts with time management and priorities.
Okay. Yep.
So you need to have both of those in check.
Yep.
So if your health and fitness is a priority, which to everybody it truly should be, because it's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good, and it's also about being able to be productive and perform well as well.
Yeah.
So an unhealthy, unfit body isn't going to perform well, whether it is actually in fitness endeavors or if it is in the workplace.
Yeah.
So you need to be fit, not just for looking good. You need to be fit and healthy for being able to be productive at work and keep moving forward. So identify your priorities. So whether if being healthy and fitness is one of your priorities, and then making time for that no matter what, and making it a non-negotiable for the day. So if you know you're starting work at a certain time and finishing at a certain time, prioritizing and time management into where it should go.
Yes.
And that's how you do it as well, because you obviously work such long hours.
Yeah.
Like me, we work a minimum of 12 hours a day.
And your brain's always sticking. Think about this.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that in the morning I need to wake up at 4:45 to be able to do my cardio, to be able to have all those things, go to work, and then finish work at whatever time, go to the gym. it's making it a non-negotiable. So since I was 16, I had
no excuses.
No,
really
yeah,
important.
exactly.
Yeah,
No
excuses leads to so many more things because you just don't let your mind overtake you.
We can always
Well done,
find
man.
excuses for things.
Yeah.
If you don't have a reason why you're doing something, you can always come up with a reason why you don't have to do it.
And I want to ask you a question. Is it because you know that after you exercise or you know you got that session in, you feel freaking awesome?
You feel so much better.
Right.
Even if you're having a bad day, even if you don't feel like going.
You're chasing it, man.
Yeah.
Because you know that you put your body or your mind in a better position. And look, that's a healthy, thing to chase. And having that recognition of knowing what's healthy, and you probably know what's not healthy if you do anything or any habits daily. You'll know, hey, that's unhealthy. Try and get it out. As long as you have that recognition, like that's what will allow you to maintain your fitness and make sure you fit it in, because you know you'll actually function better.
Yeah, but I also know that it's cultivating things like fortitude, discipline.
Yeah.
Because if you can stick to those daily goals over time, doing that incrementally over a long period of time adds up.
Yeah.
So it's also about
momentum.
Momentum. It's momentum, and discipline is also another thing.
Look, good way to put it. I think definitely for that question, and 100% agree. With this next question, am I answering it, or is this the one directly for you?
No,
this is the double now. This is the double.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be quite similar for the both of us.
Okay, let's go.
How do you run on such low sleep and pull such long hours?
Yeah, and look, I document this process. So again, it's on my stories. I document how much I sleep. The reason being is I like to, number one, be aware, but also show everyone, or just share. Probably the word is share. Share to everyone that you can follow your dreams. You can be as productive as you want. And if you're in control of your mind, you allow it to shut off properly, and you can wake up full of energy. That's why I do it. That's why I document it. And to answer your question, how do I do it? Is I have a very, very important and structured morning routine and night routine. And these routines are completely amazing.
And they're non-negotiables. They are
like
non-negotiables.
You said in the last question, there are no excuse routine that allows me to rest.
And this is a 7-day-a-week thing.
7 days a week. I love it.
7 days a week, every single day.
And when I do it on the weekends, I feel even extra happy, because I'll tell you why. I know that human beings in general existence of human beings, we're taught to relax on the weekends. Oh, change your schedule. Oh, you don't need it. You're going to burn out. That one. Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
Watch out. You're going to burn out.
The old burnout. The only burnout you do is in your G-Wagon.
No, you're right. And that's why I literally do it. Okay. So, that's how I do it. It's actually a mindset thing. I know I do better. I know I function better. I know I'm in the right spot, and my body is healthy, and I measure this. I really do.
Do you think you also find a lot of satisfaction in doing something like that on the weekends, because you know no one else is doing it?
Yeah, it spurs me on. It just spurs me on because I know I'm on top of my shit, and I think it came down to even the start of this podcast. So when you know you're on top, right? Yep. So. And vice versa. Let me reflect the question back at you. So how do you manage, with so little sleep, and keep motivating yourself?
So mine's exactly the same.
Okay.
Morning routine, nighttime routine.
Yep.
Whether they're things that are gonna increase
even like your supplements or your food.
Yes,
I know where you're coming from.
And I
was actually questioning it for a sec, but cool. I was like, I've never heard of this, but no, it makes sense. Yours just a different routine.
I think
wow.
We would have a very similar routine, I'm sure. So,
okay.
But so I can be lazy. I'm inherently a lazy person.
Okay, and it's good to recognize.
Yeah, but I know that if I stay disciplined, I can outwork my laziness.
Wow.
So I'm definitely a lazy person, but I'll have a checklist, a physical checklist, paper.
You're right. You do that. I've seen it. I've seen your process.
Yeah, and I've got
You write it down on this notepad, old school. Bang, 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 bang. Do you cross it out as well?
Yep. Cross it out. When I do it, I cross it out. Pen and paper. But I've literally got it on it. 4:45 wake up.
Like full on.
Yeah.
And you go there, cross it out.
5 o'clock, 45-minute walk.
I'd love to be in your mind.
20-minute meditation.
Satisfying feeling like bang. Like you're in a vibe all the time. Like you're in a movie. Like whoa, 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 bang.
But do you know the sense of accomplishment you get from crossing out tasks?
I know how you feel.
That gathers daily momentum. And if you do that in the morning, I leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning and I've ticked off 10 things, I get to work and I'm firing. Like I feel great because I've already accomplished so many different things before 7 o'clock in the morning. I've done fitness, I've done meditation, I've read a book, I've done all my supplements, I've done my breath work, I've done everything.
Yeah.
Like I've written my daily tasks for the day.
It builds momentum.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
It's weird because I have just this like subconscious count of what
I wish I could do it like that.
It's so weird. Like even my food, people go, do you count calories? Dude, I don't count calories. I just know. Over time, I understand my body. I can feel my body. I know how much food it needs, or if I've overeaten or undereaten. I have a general idea of, how many calories a fat or a protein has, just generally. Like I'm like, oh, this one's a bit more dense compared to X, right?
That's experience. You've been doing that for a long time.
Long time. So I just know, and that's what I'm saying. It just builds momentum over time, which is cool. So, man, I honestly, I love that. And I think it's been absolutely phenomenal. Guys, I think this has been another great podcast. The direction for what we're doing and just sharing is phenomenal. To share that with others, it's even better. I want to keep sharing, and I want to build good, positive momentum and energy. So if you're there, if you're listening, just subscribe onto whatever channel you're on right now. If it's Spotify, if it's iTunes podcast, if it's TikTok, if it's Instagram, we're going to try and distribute it along all. We got this podcast up really quickly. However, we are getting the process in the background together really quickly as well. If I need to change something, if George needs to change something, if Angus or anyone in the background needs to change something, we'll change something to make sure it's more efficient. But give us a follow, subscribe, because I'll tell you why. It will create an internal community that you're part of, and that little connection that you're part of will naturally be with you at all times during the day, and you can let that drive you. Let's check in next week. Hopefully we can have a guest on, or we might go solo for one more week. Let's just see how we feel. And then we'll kill it together. I can feel it.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate everybody that's listening. And remember, engage with us, ask questions. We want to hear what your thoughts are.
I love the questions.
We want to know what you guys are thinking, what you guys are working on, what we can help you with.
Yeah.
We're doing this to help. Obviously, we've said it multiple times.
Let go.
This is fun for us. We like discussing these things and chatting. So ask us questions, and also, if you got any value, if this helped you in any way, if it made you laugh, if it made you think,
please
give us feedback.
Share it.
And also share it with someone that you think is like-minded and might take any value away from this.
Need to create action.
Just one person.
Yeah.
That's all it
is. Guys,
is.
if you just make some sort of action and just go, boom, just going to do it and just let some energy go right now and go, I love this, share some positive energy, because you will feel really good. I promise you, you'll alter the way your mind thinks and feels, and all you did was share. Remember what I said at the start of the podcast? Not money, you're sharing something else, and start to feel that moving forward. Let's go. We're going to see you in the next one.
Appreciate you guys.
Woo!